All that cheese.
Yeah, I just had some cheese
Are
on
we
my
all
pasta.
present? Are we all set? Are we all on the table?
Present and erect.
Give us 30 seconds.
Reasonable.
God, my fan's pointing at my notebook. To weigh it down.
Right, ready.
Ready?
I don't believe.
So I missed like the last few minutes of the last game. Sam
Sure.
messaged me.
Oh yeah, I meant to send you the video, but I only uploaded it today.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I could have.
Would anyone like to pitch in for a recap rather than me just laying it all out? Because it's interesting to see. There was a good bit of info
Gav
in the...
left during the conversation with.
We're on the way to Sigismund.
Yeah, to see Sigmund.
The
Right.
keeper of the first thing I have in my notes. I got Sam's messages to say that this guy's dodgy. Or he thinks this guy's dodgy.
Yeah, so we we told tales to we had a good rapport with Bostic's dad, and then we went to
the chapel
towards
of
Sigmund,
Rock.
but we heard the Chosen speaking on the way.
Yep.
And then we got to Sigmund's place, and he had this gigantic polished chain link behind him that he was trying to claim was naturally formed, I believe.
Yeah, it's kind of embedded in the rock, and you eventually see this midway through the sermon, that there's kind of sticking out of the rock is a gigantic
link of the chain.
Yeah, absolutely.
He spoke in an otherworldly language.
So he delivered a sermon that was half in Dwarvish, half in another language. Absolutely.
He spoke foreign and his gloves glowed. I queued up to see the link, and it was obviously handmade. Like, it wasn't naturally occurring.
Get you, yeah.
But he was claiming it was. Oh, yes, and, well, anything else from that interaction? Because there's a little bit afterwards.
What's his face wants me to meet with the guy.
You spoke with your vendor friend who you had the deal with about the explosives, and he was interested in mining with them, about saying it was some kind of deal. I touched...
with Broadaxe. Broadaxe must be to talk to Sigmund.
Yes, I touched the link. It was cold, and it buzzed. Sigmund spoke to me. I didn't write down what. And Sam has not spoken to Sigmund, is the last thing I wrote. So, yeah. So we are currently in the room with Sigmund and his worshippers.
You are down in the chapel of Deep Rock. The sermon has ended. It was a quick one. Kind of daily service. But people seem excited. People seem intrigued by this.
Some could say...
Jed, is the same type of stuff like in the farmers or the foresting village, is it the same type of vibe do we get? Like, this is a newly formed thing that people are flocking to?
No, this is not a newly formed thing. This is the opposite.
This guy has been... You asked about this, so this guy has been the cleric of the Deep Rock for longer than Obadiah's been alive, that's for sure.
Well,
closer to a Movis situation than anything else I'd have thought.
And he's operating out in the open. He's not taking people away. This hasn't been so-called a change in the faith.
I seem to recall, did we ask the guy, Sam's mate, about if he'd spoken in that language before? I don't remember the result.
I can't remember.
I seem to recall you asking Broadaxe about that and it being a no, I don't know what that was about.
Yes, that's it.
Now, you've just sat through the sermon, so Sigmund is claiming that what he is speaking is the voice of the earth itself. The voice that he has heard in the holy and deep rock. And for Jethro, I will kind of reiterate that when you put your hand on the chain, there was almost as though you could hear it yourself. Yeah. Although you told me that you actively didn't want to listen.
Yeah.
Didn't matey say that? Didn't the blacksmith dude say the chain was made, or looked like it was made from the same metal as the stuff we brought him?
That is right as well. That was another
Yes.
remark that Bostic's
What,
dad, Mr.
the
Bright,
meteor
had.
iron?
Yeah.
He said that it looked like meteorite. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I can't remember if you said it in character or not, Sam, about the language, because you did say what it was.
I didn't tell anybody what the language was in
Okay.
character.
So
I
that's what I
told
was
Gav
saying.
what the language was in the text message, and you
Cool,
guys.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I said it wasn't. He did what he was saying was not what we thought. I think I said to you that he was an evil man.
Now I wonder if I can, because most of you have heard this language spoken aloud before, even if you don't understand it. And I'm wondering what
we
kind
heard
of
it over
check
the
to make.
intercom somewhere.
Would it be a history check?
I'm inclined to make it a history check. Yeah.
Just like so.
But if you've got something else that you'd like to roll, then by all means pitch it to me. If not, I'll invite history checks on this.
Oh, oral history, because I'm stupid.
You know what I mean, though. Sometimes you can tell when someone's speaking French, even if you don't speak French, because you just know how fucking French sounds.
Yeah, it sounds
some
like
of the-
it's getting in a tub of jelly.
Mine's 11.
You know, I don't speak Japanese, but I can recognize Japanese.
I think you rolled a 10.
11 plus whatever my thing is. A second.
History bonus, give me the total.
You're +5.
So 16.
16 total. Okay. Do you know what, Jethro? I'm going to give you specifically advantage, and I'll tell you why if you pass.
Okay.
So I'm going to invite you to make one more roll.
But if you pass, you shall go insane.
The same.
Okay, no problem.
That was the same as last week. Didn't you do that last week?
Twice.
Yeah, absolutely. It happened a bunch of times in a row. Tor, with the 16, you can recognize things of the vowel and the consonant sounds that have been coming out of this dwarf while he's been speaking. You recognize this language. You heard it last in Movis's basement.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, if anything.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
talking foreign gibberish.
When those fire things turned up.
Yeah, and you will recall villagers chanting in the basement, and you haven't heard those words again. You know, 16's high enough. You maybe listened out for it, but it certainly sounds similar. You know, you've travelled far enough. You've gotten enough of an ear for languages now, Tor. This is, if not the same language, it's from the same continent.
Oh, what do you know? I have comprehend languages learned.
Oh. Too busy you weren't there.
It's too late. The sermon's over.
Yeah,
but like
absolutely,
we can, I can come again tomorrow.
Come to the next service.
Yeah.
Well, thank Fishy about whatever you were saying. Remember, was it down in that temple down in, where is it, Movis chap? That, you know, the priests.
Yeah, I
That's,
remember.
Yeah, that's
Ken Vaden.
sounded. It's very similar to what he was spouting out with. Food
Foreign
hall.
gibberish.
Maybe I'll once prepared. Maybe I'll visit tomorrow for the again. And you sure he wasn't maybe casting magic?
Not 100%. No, not 100% sure. I couldn't feel. Don't think I could feel any weave moving, but you know, not all magic is cast the same way, is it?
No, very true.
So he may have been, but he's it's very suspicious.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well,
I don't think I'm going to invite.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome to make an Arcana check, but like, there's no. Yeah.
It's past the time now anyway, so it would have.
Yeah.
You know, you'd need to do it during, wouldn't you?
that's fine.
Really.
So who else has what business have we now, guys?
The crowd is clearing. You are down in the, basically at the raw rock face. There are tools kind of set to the side where people have been working today. The air is dusty. And a few of the lanterns have been taken away. So those of you without dark vision will probably want to go back with the lanterns, or else you might struggle a bit to find your way out.
I'll cast dark.
I'm going to stay in touch with this guy.
Okay.
With Broadaxe.
You're going to hang around a little bit?
I'll catch up with you at Bostic's house if you want.
Sounds good.
Be careful.
Don't get lost.
I'll be fine.
Did Bostic came with us, didn't he?
Bostic is down there with you. Yeah, absolutely. As is Mr. Brightiron, Bostic's father. And he is kind of smiling placidly. But after a little bit, he kind of goes and taps all of you on the elbow and says, "Well, have you arranged a place to stay tonight?"
No.
No, not yet. And given our friend here, it might be,
I mean, he did offer last week, Johnny.
We have not.
Well, I've not much space, but we can lay out some rolls. Can we use when we're on road? Put you up in, floor's dry.
Floor is
He
fine
just
for
got
me.
tiny hut and just like sleep in a tiny hut in his house.
Still take up the space.
Does it
Block the road.
We'd be much grateful.
Cast it on the windowsill so it's like a new house sticking out of his window.
Yeah.
The underground window.
Yeah.
well, I've now got Mordekainen's private sanctum, so
Ooh.
that can even do fancier shit.
Yeah.
But I think it might be rude to be casting that type of stuff around the place.
Sounds delightful, Mr. Brightiron.
Well, we'll all be up. I think your little friend here is going to stay and have a chat with Sigmund. They seem to have something they want to talk about, so...
He's an inquisitive fella.
I don't claim to understand it myself. But
Well, I'll offer
Anyhow.
to buy us all a takeaway or something for the evening, just in return for the generosity. Buy food for everyone.
Well,
Maybe we go out for a meal.
Oh, we could go out. Oh, yeah.
there are places to eat. I'll confess we didn't have anything special planned, and a few extra mouths would have stretched the cupboard a little further. But I'd be happy to take you up on that.
Oh, cracking! Sounds lovely.
Being as we're friends, but I'll confess, you seem like a right good chap, but you being here, well, we'll have to be clever with where we're going to and not.
Yes, getting that impression.
Now listen, it's nothing personal, but places have trouble. Some of it on accounts of your height and your stature, and in about colour of your skin or nothing like that. But
no one will find trouble with me unless they bring it.
We'll find somewhere maybe less traditional and somewhere with decent spices and that.
Well,
Sorry, is Jed cutting out for anyone else, or is it just my connection?
he's doing all right for me. You were cutting out a bit ago,
Yes.
but you seem to be okay right now.
Well, I'll just kind of, as we're walking along to wherever we're going, I'll just kind of nudge Jethro and suggest, is it alright if I cast this spell on you? It'll make other people like you a bit more. It might help, it might not.
I don't particularly care what other people think. What do you mean?
Well, I can enhance your charisma, so to speak. So, as just in case any confrontations happen, something might,
Make me
might help you.
more charming.
Could polymorph him
Yeah.
into a full-blown orc.
I mean, sure. You know what?
Or a dwarf.
Let's give it a go.
We'll wait until it happens, but
Nope.
magic, that's what I'll be doing.
All right. Try anything once.
Just gonna crack the window, fellas. It's it is sweltering in here.
Yeah, I'm like muting my mic and turning my fan on.
Yeah.
They've got me. I'm sitting here half dressed.
Half? I'm wearing pants. I might take them off.
Sam's been working all day with a back plan.
Fair enough. Bright Iron leads you up to the chain lift, the edge of the shaft where the mining is going on.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to cut across you, Jed. I'm going to restart my router. I can't.
Okay.
I can only hear every third word.
Okay.
No problem. In which case,
2
I'll
minutes.
come back to you fellas and I'll deal with Sam. Sam Broadaxe has you there and it makes a little bit of small talk. Kind of says, so how you said that it's used in mining itself, this powder. How do you envision it down here? Do you think, does your mining compare with ours?
Well, it is definitely a profession of the dwarfs. Big shoe as well as here.
Oh yeah, well we're well suited for it. Don't need to dig as high in the tunnels, and don't have to worry about gases and the like so much.
And I'm just gonna make up some bullshit. So, I mean, there's a lot more gnomes in my shoe, a lot more arcane technology.
Oh, very well. Yeah, well, we do our best with that here. I mean, and he's looking past you, looking to see that people are leaving, and saying, "Wow, we've been making advances on that ourselves lately. We've had a certain flash of inspiration." You can make me an insight check quickly, Sam. Then to simply say, like, he's talking about this in a way that's like he wouldn't mention it in front of everybody else. He's intoning, this is in the tone of voice.
Yeah, I got that. Kind of got that.
Yeah, like it's slightly secretive, the development he's been making.
Well, you can tell, my friends.
Well, this contraption you've got on your back here. Now, I told you the truth that I'd never seen that. I didn't know what that was until today, but well, you've heard tell sometimes an idea will come to you in the dream, or a whisper on a mountain breeze, perhaps. And an idea came to me, and a friend of mine, a smith, not Bright Iron that you've been walking with, but you'll meet him tonight. Between us, it's like the ink met the page, and we were drawing, and he gestures to bring you back closer to another dwarf, and this other dwarf has a box with him. It says, "Titus, Mr. Shoe, I want you to meet my friend Dudope."
Pleasure. I'm not laughing.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The Dudope here is a metallurgist, but works with fine materials, fine mechanics. And Dudope looks at you, he clocks you, and he's looking at your shoulder, and his eyes open, they flick back between him. And he's saying, "We knew there was something to this, but, Broadaxe continues, so we knew there was something to it, but we weren't quite sure what. Like the idea had stuck in our heads, and we fashioned it together. And then today, second shift, you walked into my shop. Mr. Doddop, would you like to show my new friend Titus what you've got in the box there? And Doddop's still for a second. He doesn't really know how to react. But then his senses come to him, and he walks around and he flicks a couple of hinges. And folds it open. And there you see a firing mechanism and a barrel. Identical in dimensions and, to your eyes very quickly, functionally matching the musket that you've had on your back. Sam, I'm going to send you a link.
May I?
I
say it as expected.
You reach down into the straw that lines the box and you grab this. You hold it in your hand. It is lighter than the one that you brought with you. And it is ornate, decorated. Dwarven, more straight lines, more, solid, less kind of grind to the movement of the hammer, to the trigger. Just gonna throw you the link. It has just a nice touch to it, but you can tell you could transplant this directly onto the stock that you've carried from Shu. Wouldn't take more than an hour. This is very nice indeed.
Transcribe the same engravings and things you mean, sorry.
Pardon?
What did you mean by transcribe? Stuff.
You could transfer it onto the stock. So transplant. So you could take the barrel off your current musket and fit this one without too much effort.
Upgrade.
Perhaps the slightly lights though. What do you think? Have you tested it yet?
Doddop finally speaks up. So that's solid. You could hang a giant off of that. Will not bend. Absolutely. What do you mean test fire? Forged it in fire. Hot cut it and all that. Tempered.
What is it made of?
Oh well, it's hardly meteorite, but best steel I could get. Decent amount of carbon in there. Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean fired? What's he mean fired? Axe? And Broadaxe smiles back at you, and then back to his friend and says, "You will have to wait and see. We won't do it in here. It'll be a bit loud."
It's true. What do you intend to do with this?
And Sam, you hear a shift on the ground behind you, a slight clink of metal plate. And the eyes again go past you. And Sigmund, the dwarf who delivered the sermon, is stood close in your little trio of dwarves now. And says, my enclave, my trusted few. You have a new acolyte for the deep rock and the holy chain. Is that so? Greetings, traveller. My name is Sigmund, and this is my chapel.
Rather interesting sermon. Especially the bits about breaking the chains that bind you.
He rubs his head and says, yes, it eludes me somewhat. The chain is deep set. We've been unable to dig it from this rock, you understand that the deeper we get, the harder each inch of ore is to clear. And to have found such a perfect vein down here is proof of its divinity. Truly. I am astounded.
I must ask, why are we trying to break the chain?
What do you mean?
Well, why are you digging further down, attempting to break this chain?
This is our holy mission. The words of the rock itself flow through me. I'm blessed, I am fortunate. I've been down here a long time. Did you fully understand what I said?
Yes. What is it you're trying to free?
Free? You can give me another insight check, Sam.
I didn't understand any of the dwarfish, by the way.
Yeah, I get that.
17.
17. You might wonder if he understands what he's said. Now you'll be aware of this. Sam might be aware of this, and some of you others might be. But what gets called glossolalia, kind of speaking in tongues, and a slip into nonsense as a matter of religious fervour, might be what this guy believes that he's done, as though a kind of divine language which has escaped the world is slipping out through him. And so when you're talking about things like that,
Yeah, literally is.
He's unsure what you're referring to. But Broadaxe claps you then on the shoulder. He's not much taller than you, maybe half a head. But he says, Titus here knows about our work. He knows, Dodope and I have been showing him what we've made over the last few weeks, and he's familiar with it. He sees possibilities that we cannot. I wonder if he might know how to break the rock down here. He might know exactly what... he sees a different potential. And Sigmund strokes his beard, furrows his brow beneath the helmet that he wears. He is clad in heavy linked plate. Moves with a certain weight, a certain solidity. And then when he's still, he is very still indeed, but after a second he says, yes, an outside eye, a more comprehending view. Would you like to see the rock and the holy chain, Titus?
I suppose we'd really want to.
Sam, you can give me... Your int score is flat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give me a roll and just add your proficiency bonus. I was going to say investigation, but I'll count you as proficient in it regardless. 14 total?
Yeah.
You look up upon the rock, and it is as I've described it. The rock face itself is showing signs of having been struck repeatedly by picks, chipped away at by hard dwarven hands, and slowly progress has been made to reveal this link of chain the size of your torso, sticking clean from the rock. But where the ends go, what it is bound into, this is harder to see. It is still deep, it is still hard set. But looking now, you know what to look for. You understand the properties of what you have come here to seek. You understand how it has been used in Shu, for example. And you understand where to light a spark, where to dig, where to drill, and where to blast. And you can see exactly which points to fill with Broadaxe's black powder to shatter and the rock around this chain link, and to expose it to the air. And whatever it may bind would have room to move. But I'll let you think about that for a minute. Those of you who are leaving the mine, leaving the Chapel of Deep Rock, heading back towards the upper parts of the lower city, still below ground, but away from this deep, heavy pressure and the sweaty, wet air, riding up on the lifts, and hearing, as you come up, the clamour now of Mazenhall's streets, as the second shift has ended, and what passes for evening here in the dark is coming underway. Your circadian rhythms are good enough, and you feel now a rumble in your stomach. It has been some time since you've eaten. And a voice rings out again. Come to me now, brothers, for relief. Come to me now, brothers, to ease your pain. Come to me now to shock the chains put upon you, for they lead to no good. You have nothing to lose but them, and I shall deliver you honestly from the corruption of the cities above and below, let alone this kingdom in the west into which ear is dripped poison. And the influences from other worlds, the horrid, the, dare I say it, heretical, banished, infernal, that is the poison which grips our city and all others. We must protect ourselves, and we must relieve ourselves of this suffering which is laid down upon us by the hate-filled and those who would seek to burden us, those who would seek to control our lives and oppress us. You can hear this voice from some way off, and eventually, Bright Iron is looking at you and rolling his eyes. Bostic is trying to keep up with his dad and sort of does the same, although he's not really sure, it's not quite going into his head in the same sort of way.
Guys, kind of
but again, the billowing cloak that spills from Gromnon the Chosen stood above the crowd on a plinth as he calls out, and a few are listening to him now, but some are going past. He says, I will be keeping audiences and holding council on the edge of the Red Market now. In 1 hour, find me. Find me and speak your secret, speak your truth, and receive relief. You and you and you. And all you visitors there. This tall man. I'm sure you have secrets. The men in black there. He's got a layer of the mega church to him.
He's certainly got charisma.
Yeah. Just a little. In droves, really, you might say.
He's won me over already, honestly.
Without even a persuasion check.
Fuck it.
Absolutely. But Bright Iron leads you onwards and past. And you come to a place that is manned not by a dwarf, but by a dark-skinned elf with pointy ears, dressed in black leather. And you can tell this maybe isn't straight-laced Master Smith, Mr. Brightine's first choice. The elf on his black skin has tattoos. His hair is knotted. The menu is written in dwarf and elf and common, and is replete with exotic meats and sauces which you aren't sure from first reading the names what they will taste like.
All right, mate.
Hey, brother.
What do you call all this stuff then?
We got a mix of stuff, you know. Some of it's from my people, the pricks that they are. You know, family recipes, and then some of it's my own concoction, you know, my own twist. We get interesting stuff down here. You know?
Very cool, very cool.
The right spices. The dwarves, they're good people. They love their flavors. You're a man who likes flavor? You're a man who likes a little bit of spice in his life?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, well, have you guys eaten here before? You know what you know what you like. Have you eaten drow food before?
No.
Any of you?
No,
any of you
can't say
fellas?
I have.
How about you, my man? And he looks to you, Tor. Have you eaten drow food before?
No, I don't even know what a fucking drow is. What are you?
Oh, see, I'm what they call free drow. Most drow, they live like under a different mountain, and like they're not cool folks, to be honest. A lot of heavy attitudes there, a lot of like conformity, and I'm not about that. So
What's your name there, nonconformist?
Arazd.
Arazd.
Arazd, yeah. Jethro, nice.
Yeah, I like the band.
Haha. What, like, I don't know, man. What do they sound like?
Eclectic.
Ha. Nice. All right.
Wow.
Anyway, well,
We'll be eating this.
how about you, my friend? And he looks over to the pair of the bright irons and says, "You guys look like local guys. You know what you like? You had some of my food before." And Bostic nods and said, "Yeah, we had the spider kebab."
Ooh.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, no, not like it's a big spider.
Oh, tasty spider.
Yeah,
Well.
yeah.
Well, you boys eat on me, so don't worry about it. Order what you like.
I suppose we try anything once.
Oh, yeah. You got some kind of sharing platter with a bit of everything
Oh,
on it.
sure, yeah. Well, we can do like I tell you what, like the arthropod and the invertebrate like tray. That's a good way to do it, and you get a couple of little dips of it. We do some ground up mushroom paste. We do some hummus.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
one of those.
I'd like a whole one for yourself.
Yeah. And whatever your alcohol is that you whatever alcohol is you have. What's your specialty?
Oh, see, the dwarves, they love they just have beer and things, but we do a good spiced wine, man. Actually, that's something I'm really glad to have brought with me. I don't have loads left, but we get people coming in, guys that sneak in and out of the homelands, and so it's hard to get, but I can do you a little. I can do you, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what you like.
I'll take spice wine and beers for the table.
Yeah, I'll have a dwarven ale.
Yeah. Beers, a little bit of drow wine. Yeah, okay.
We've got another friend coming, so we'll save a space for him if that's all right.
Okay, man. Yeah. I'll sit you guys over here then. That'll be room for what? If that's one more, that'll be the 6 of you. Yeah.
Quick maths. Yes.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And he leads you to a little round table. There's a candle in the center of it, but there are candles around the place. It's not a huge little restaurant. He seems to be the only front of house staff, but he goes to a hatch behind the bar, and starts speaking in a language that I don't think any of you speak. It is whispery and sibilant. And kind of you think you can almost hear clicks in there as well.
Well, this is all very exotic.
And after a little bit, Arast comes back with 4 beers and a glass for you, Jethro. And it is glass that he sets out. And you can make out by the candlelight that this is almost like a kind of, you know what I mean by a cinnabar red in terms of the colour? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. If you had it in daylight, it would be, like fresh blood, the color of it. It's a very bright, very vibrant colored red. And you have a sniff at that, and it's got spices mixed into it, probably. It's going to tickle on your tongue.
Oh.
The beer itself is nice. It's got quite a dark flavour. The dwarves enjoy that. Bostic and his dad start speaking to one another, and they are speaking in Dwarvish. But I think, given that Jethro and Obadiah speak that, then they are. Mr. Brighthine is glad to have his son back.
Yeah.
That it's actually been a turnaround on this. That he didn't think he'd see him for a while longer, and so they reminisce about the time that they'd been there before, and it was for Bostic's 35th birthday, and so he'd effectively just been a teenager. But it was a funny place. Certainly, kind of a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah. Oh.
But
So what are you going to do with yourself now, Bostic?
Well, I need to finish my certificate, which probably means I could do it here in Mazenol. What do you think, Dad? And his dad looks at him and says, "It's your decision."
So what's involved in finishing the certificate, may I ask?
Need to
If
find.
That's not no trade secret or anything.
No, need to find a journeyman smith. Doesn't need to be a master themselves, but someone that's been doing it for the humans, it normally takes them 30 years. And he can get me up to my novice card.
Bloody hell, that is a lifelong commitment.
It's an occupation.
Once I'm a novice, I can take paid work. I can come back here. But we want to see. We thought it would be good for me to go out and learn something other than just dwarf smithing, like, learn something from the humans. I don't suppose you guys know any elves?
I know one called Arast.
Yeah, I know one or two.
Like,
there's that priest. That priest was an elf.
Yeah.
Ganthit was an elf. Gav,
not really in the same line of work, though. But yeah.
Yeah, Gav, you will probably have met elf kind of jewelers and the like. Elf smithing is much finer than dwarf stuff. More intricate. So they don't make as much. Their work process is slow. And doesn't involve much beating of the metal.
That's just them showing off how long they live.
Well, sure. Yeah, absolutely. It means then that what they do make is very good.
Have you done any magical crafting, Bostic? Because I've got a few ingots that we're thinking of working up into something that will help us.
Oh, yeah, I heard you talking to Dad about that.
Yes, so we got these 2 bars of a dark blue metal, meteoric metal.
Yeah.
And we've also got a bit of silver and a bit of gold, but we were hoping to outfit some of our more violent friends, just in case we run into any of our past troubles again, which undoubtedly we will, being in the line of work we're in. and I got a bit of magic, but I don't really know how to get it into the metal.
Well, Dad can help with that, and we know someone that can do proper runes and that. So if you can, yeah, like how does it work, Dad? And his father doesn't say anything. He wants to let Bostic explain. And Bostic sits. What you do is you write out the spell in a way that we can put it into runes, and you do.
Hang on, would you need that in Dwarven runes or something else?
Can't you write?
Bright Eye nods and says, "Well, we can work that out. If it's not something that you lads know, then we can suss it. I made I make a lot of traditional dwarven techniques. We do belts and plate armor and hammers like Bostic's got. Now, when he come through, I thought he hadn't earned the right to use that. But it sounds to me from the stories you told that he'd, well and truly swung it well, and earned it is an understatement.
He used it well, that's for sure.
Yeah, we would have been in trouble without him. Well, that's interesting to know. So maybe we can discuss it later. But I had some thought of something that Jethro could use that might make him disappear from one place and appear close by.
I've seen it done.
It could be a boon to him in combat.
You don't wear a lot of armor, though, do you, my friend?
None. Slows me down too much.
No,
I was thinking maybe boots or bracers or something along those lines. Or maybe a belt. That might do.
Rings around the arms, or we can cast it into ring metal and feed it through with leather.
Ooh.
Yeah, make it light. You wouldn't know you were wearing it.
Oh yeah, so much rings around me biceps like the Misfits.
Cool.
Arast comes by with arms full of plates and lays down a few things, and there are legs and thoraxes and abdomens and chitin with soft flesh in the middle.
Which one's the spider kebab?
He has on a smaller plate spider
yeah.
kebab in bread. Just a kind of simple folded flatbread, and there are amazingly quite fresh-looking leaves and herbs set around it. What would pass for a salad in any city, any surface town.
That sounds delightful.
But the spider legs themselves have been shaved and charred. They are not hairy, but they look muscular. They are bigger than a person's finger.
It'll be, I'll kind of eat around the bread and the salad, and then I'll venture a nibble.
Yeah. Bostic, on the other hand, reaches over and grabs what looks like a large bit of woodlouse and puts the shell to his mouth and just sucks out the flesh from inside.
Oh, that's gross.
Even you saying that is gross.
Yeah. My dad's garden is infested with the woodlice, so I've dealt with hundreds of them recently.
Yeah. And then in a small bowl on the side, just throws the shell into it.
I'll just dive in, just with whatever. The most disgusting looking thing first.
Things seem to be quite well cooked. Anything that you would expect to be crunchy or crispy has a nice kind of suppleness that you can bite down on it. Nothing is absolute slime. There are dips on the side, as promised. There is a nice spicy sauce. There is hummus. And then a kind of black mixture that eventually you see Mr. Bright Iron pick up what is probably some kind of worm and wrap it around a fork and dip it into the black mixture, and it lifts. And he sees you eyeing and says, it's ink with cuttlefish living in pools down deep. And they're like that ink, and it's delicious, really. I shouldn't give the boy too much slack. He's picked up a lot since he's been here, you know?
I love seafood.
But this...
even if it's from a cave.
Well, see, tell the truth, the drow and dwarfs have got a lot in common on account of living down so deep. Have to be very regimented for safety's sake, and I can understand this lad's complaints and why he'd want to leave home, but from what I've heard anyhow. But honestly, I think he's made himself well at home. I wouldn't want to be next to him swinging a pickaxe. It's much too high. He'd knock the roof out, but you know how it is. Sam, down in the Chapel of Deep Rock. It seems clear to you what steps you would take, given the resources at hand, to crack this rock, to free the chain, and perhaps whatever it binds. Sigmund and Dodope and Mr. Broadaxe are looking at you expectantly. They're seeing you as a figure of hope, it seems.
Get some water.
Hence, I think I'd be happy to help you, but I need to know what you're expecting of this. The outcome is expected. I'll be looking at Chris.
Yeah, you're looking at. He kind of licks his lips a little bit and says, "This is the holy bounty. This is what we've worked for centuries, you know?"
I'm going to interrupt him in Infernal. This is fantastic. And tell him to speak plainly. So.
His eyes narrow, and his ears stretch and strain. That's what I mean. You seem to know something about this that we've only dreamt of. It took me days of constant listening to pick up the words from the chain here, and you speak them as though you grew up with it. You know.
I did not. Can I roll an insight on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to try and work out whether he means what he said, or
yes.
Yeah.
20.
20 total. Yeah, absolutely. He's amazed. You know, these guys are. You know, if he was in a position to announce someone a saint, he would be regarding you as such.
Ooh.
You know, you are this kind of, for them, a delivered figure. Like, these guys have been. He goes on and says, "We've been wrapped with such dreams, such visions in the flame since we uncovered this. Just the first glimpses of the holy metal here. And now..." Pardon?
What is it you saw?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. We just knew where to dig. We knew what to do. It's hope. It's vision. It's an opportunity for things to change. You know? Did that make any sense? We probably sound raving, but I've been rewarded by my faith.
I'm going to leave it out this week.
I can't hear you again there, Sam. Sorry, you're garbling.
Sorry. How long have you had these visions?
Only a few days. Dodope here came to me with a set of drawings that him and Broadaxe had a flash of inspiration. They were sat having a drink after the shift. And the next day, the axe came down and seared the clear, clean metal. And that's been the focus of our work since then. The visions, it's like we realise that we're doing the right thing, like we know that we've got a... This sounds bad. This sounds baffling. I wonder if it's a trick of translation. The only common word I can think for it is a friend. It's like we've got a friend in the rock. I can't think of a better way of expressing it.
Strange.
I'm no poet. I've been a holy man and an orator for a long time, but we're deeply orthodox down here. The traditions that I speak, the sermons I deliver have barely changed in 200 years. And then before that, well, the faith was new once.
Well, can I meet you tomorrow and we'll discuss this further?
Well, the next shift will be 8 hours before it starts. There'll be people working here, there'll be 2 shifts, and then we have a little break. Most
So in
folks
8
speak
hours, people will be back to work. Yeah.
Aye.
I will see you then.
I will make it my business to be here and attend you.
Good.
The lights through the tunnel are still lit enough, Sam, that you could find your way through, probably. Back towards the lift, if that's where you're going to go.
I'll turn to the guys and say, you be careful with that. Maybe tomorrow we can test it. And then I will say, see you in the morning.
In the morning, sure. Upon the next shift, at least.
Yes. And I will
find your way to the
back.
lift. Yeah, absolutely. Now, is your... Oh, sorry. Thought I heard Laura in the hallway, and it wasn't. It was my neighbour fucking opening her flat. Great, scared her. Great, brilliant. Is your intent to find the rest of the party having their dinner?
I mean, I guess so.
So as you move up...
I'll be heading back to Bosticks, expecting to find them there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely.
If it's en route, then I bump into them.
You head up and... walking through the streets, nearly bump into a small train of dwarves. They cluster and they gabble. And you're not quite tall enough to see over their heads, but they are making a fuss of something in the middle. But they push past you. There is a central figure that people are paying attention to, but they're heading on a certain route.
Can I spot where it is?
You can give me... It would be an investigation check, I think.
My favourite skill.
Yeah.
3.
You can see that this is, the group of dwarves are making a deal over someone. It's not lots of them, maybe a group of 10 total, but they are, kind of bolting through. You can't see who they're talking to with that. It's just too, you can't see over anybody's head. You're just a little bit shorter than the majority of folks here still, I'm afraid. With your halfling stature. You make your way back to the Bright Iron House. And there is a light on in the window. But you don't hear the laughter of your friends from the outside.
I'll go in anyway, if I can, if the door's open.
Okay. Yeah, you try the door. And there is another dwarf in an apron and cleaner boots. And she says, "Oh, Mister, you scared me. You're here with you were here with Bostic earlier, were you not? One of the travelling group."
That's correct. So I do apologize. Scare you. You must be Mrs. Whatever their name was.
Yes, I'm Mrs. Brightiron.
Yes.
Folks call me Arabelle.
Lovely.
Well, the others have not come back from Sigmund's yet. They've left me here to attend to tea, and I thought I'd make a little extra, being as well we were going to have guests, but...
I wonder if maybe they've stopped for food somewhere else.
That would be like them, wouldn't it?
Forgot to invite you. How could they?
And heartless, that man, but he's a good man nonetheless, but heartless.
I didn't know she existed, in my defence.
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I did not mention her last week. Yeah.
Neither did he. Neither of the boys mentioned it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll stay with him. I'll give you a hand. I can help you eat that, I'm sure.
Oh, well, things will be ready in just a moment then. Would you care for some bread and butter?
Yes.
And she cuts you off a hunk of bread. It's quite dense. But when it comes over to you, the texture is springy. You know, it's as I say, it's quite dense. There's not a lot of aeration in it. But when you poke it, when you hold it, it has a good level of elasticity. It wouldn't take too much to chew. Like that. The butter is fucking delicious.
Wheat.
Did she lays that down for you? And after a little bit, along comes a kind of plate of spiced barley and oats and a kind of black meal that's very peppery to the taste, all mixed together. And then at the side, some simple boiled vegetables. You can identify carrot and potato with that. And she says, "Be careful with that, lord. It's maybe an acquired taste, but it's popular down here. Traditional, you know."
Thank you. What do you make of that Sigmund guy and the work they're doing?
Sigmund. Oh, he's pillar of the community. What he does for those miners is, well, he's saving lives, all but, gives a meaning to it. Helps people understand what good they're doing.
Yes, I suppose so. This new bloke, the chosen.
Oh, I don't give him any mind, to be honest. Someone comes along every so often and makes a stink of things as a new fad, starts cutting their beards shorter or wearing their helmets backwards. It's like that.
How ridiculous.
Exactly. But, Bostic went through a stage of wearing his coin purse on a chain. Wearing it on the outside of his breeks, you remember? I don't know if they did that in... Where are you from, Lovey?
Oh, out east, over the oceans.
Oh, goodness
a place
me.
called Shu. I'm not sure you would have heard of it.
Oh, astounding. No, I haven't travelled much myself, but that's okay.
Yes. Well, thank you for your hospitality. I'm sure they'll be back soon.
This is as awkward as if Sam's hanging out with his friend's mum who he's never met.
Yep, this is exactly like it. You're totally right.
Good. I'm glad I'm getting the vibe across.
I'll finish eating some food quietly, and we'll have awkward silence for a bit.
You've got to pay for that new magic item somehow, Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
I
and then I'm going to go and smoke my pipe on the porch. Or whatever, up front.
And you sit for a little while, and eventually the group who have been to Araz's restaurant.
I will bring home a doggy bag of leftovers. Also, how much was the meal? I'll pay for it.
For everything. For the well, if you were served for 6, let's say $1.50.
Okay.
Before they arrive.
I'll just
Yeah.
remove 2. I left a tip for the drow.
There was a reason for going out to smoke my pipe all day.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to try and talk to me nan.
Okay, so you sit by yourself for a while and meditate.
Smoke my pipe and
Yeah.
talk to
And
someone I
after,
know.
yeah, and so you feel the bench creak, although you are not alone. And the smoke, as you blow it out, moves in a slightly different way, as though another breath has joined the room.
Is
And
this
a
what
voice.
you? I say good evening. Is this what you meant? Of what I was looking for was in Basil. I believe that's what he said to me, like many sessions ago.
Yeah. You found a veritable bounty, Titus.
What is the chains holding?
Oh, another friend of mine and of ours, potentially. I'm sure you'd get along with him. He understands what it means to be ambitious, to want good things for his people, just as you do.
And the priests and the two dwarfs, whatever.
All the same, they want what's best for. They want what's best for themselves, for the people around them. I know how to identify good people, but
Was it?
I
you
don't
who
think
did this?
I don't think they'd get along with my friend there in the same way that you will. Indeed it was, though, to answer your question. I hope you don't mind me taking a little inspiration. I was rather impressed by this contraption you brought over the sea.
No. It's fine. Well, I suppose it'd be remiss of me not to beat this man then. Man, person, thing.
Oh, yeah, a little, all of the above. Indeed. Well, you're enjoying our arrangement then? You're feeling the benefits?
I believe so. This is
We're so
definitely been interesting.
close, Titus, to really tipping the scales here.
Do you believe this is what looks a bit?
You know, it's been some time since I've had... Oh, this is going to make me sound like an angsty teenager. But it's been some time since I've had hope that the potential for this nation will be fulfilled. And now, well...
Just
Call it-
remember who got it there.
New shoe, if you wanted to. Or, yes, that has a ring to it.
Shoe to the electric boogaloo.
I'm sure we can workshop things and come up with something with a snappier
I think I understand what you're offering.
Then let's reach out and take it, Clytus.
We may need help.
You get a little rest, and I'll be with you tomorrow when you're down on the rock face.
No problem. See you tomorrow. And I'll exhale another loud puff of smoke towards him, which I assume he disappears in like some sort of cool.
Those of you in the restaurant, the meal is wrapping up. Jethro has paid. The cups are running down, and Araz asks if you'd like a refill. But Bright Iron is looking and saying, "Well, lads, do you have anything else planned? With a few hours before, well, I'll not open the shop till middle of the first shift tomorrow.
Probably not much
Don't
more
have
we
to
can
rush
do
home straight to bed.
in the evening.
Ah, well,
Nothing
see,
planned.
we're not on city daylight times here, so
Well, yeah.
places will be open. There'll be the Red Market. There'll be
Oh,
plenty of
yes. We should find Titus, though. We should go to the Red Market and see what that guy's got to say. But grab Titus.
What guy?
The fucking
Alright.
Chosen said he'd be in the market, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Well, yeah. Let's. Where did we last leave him? Back at the chapel, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't tell him we were coming here, so don't know.
Has he sense to find his way home? He knows where we live, does he not?
Oh yeah, all right. Well, he's probably there. Do you reckon
Well,
we
Tor,
get
can
there
you
to the
find him?
market?
Don't have locate person heard.
All right. Well, let's swing by the old chapel, and if he's not there, I don't know.
It's say that I see you at home. Left.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
Fair enough.
You did say
seems
that.
easier.
Yeah.
All right,
See you back
Yeah,
across
we
the
go find him.
Absolutely.
Can we assume that we didn't pass an hour?
How long does it take to sit at a table there?
More than an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to take a
Yeah,
short
yeah.
rest, you're welcome to take a short rest, definitely. It's been several hours, so I'll you've more than had opportunity to have taken a short rest in this time.
Just because matey said he was going to be there in an hour doesn't mean he's going to be there for an hour.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a good
yeah.
point. Good point.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we'll still, yeah. Well, yeah, he might still be there. Let's go have a look. Once we get him.
I'm going to use my arcane. Oh no, arcane recovery's long rest. Oh yeah, but I can do it in short rest. I'm going to use my
Do that
arcane
on a short
recovery.
rest, yeah. On a short rest, yeah, absolutely do. Yeah.
2 level 2 spells back to full.
Nice.
But I assume that means my dark vision is still active, because I think I cast it in the last 8 hours.
If it lasts 8 hours, then yeah, it'll stay up. It doesn't take your so that'll stick with you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not concentration; it's just duration. 8 hours.
Yeah, and it's not taken off by resting. So
Yeah, it just goes for 8 hours. It doesn't end. Yeah, absolutely. So
Nice.
you feel, Gav, the weave shift and shutter, and as though your eyes themselves were made of threads, they pull at your iris, and the pupil of your eye grows a little, lets in that little bit more light, and shifts. Your perception of colours in the candlelight is washed out ever so slightly, but the depths of the shadows lift, and you can see into corners where you had not been able to before. I know you cast it a little while ago, but
That will do. I really must learn some sending magic so I can message people from afar.
Certainly sounds lazy.
Well, yes, but handy in this instance.
Yeah, I
Aye.
don't have any of that ready either.
Well, that's fine. We'll go back to the house.
Walk back to the Bright Irons doesn't take long. And Titus is sat on the porch with a pipe in between his lips, huffing away.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Oh, you missed us. We went for a fucking delicious drow drow restaurant. Brought a doggy bag home.
Look,
Yeah.
have you ever had drow?
Oh, it's lovely. I
It's
say
just
it
half a spider in
sarcastically
the
as I
back.
can.
You look in there, Sam, and you wonder if they're playing a prank on you. They've given you a bag of what looks like fishing tackle and bait. You know, there are.
Chum.
That was the deep chum. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Tentacles and insect parts.
That's good. Really good stuff, this. Deadly serious.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
but it is
Thank
greasy
you.
and it is spiced. The flavors.
I would have thought being from Should be used to eating insects and stuff.
I'll just say what? How dare you? Take
Not only
offense to
eat
that.
four-legged animals.
Yeah.
How dare you? We have sweet and sour chicken balls.
I'm sure that's the height of the delicacies over there, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Duck soup.
Right. We were going to
Sorry.
go... Shut up about your duck soup. That's all you go on about. We were going to go visit the market.
Yeah, see
Okay.
what this Chosen's got to say for himself.
You sound interested in that. It's a pier, as we're walking, I'll just regale what everyone heard anyway. Would appear that this other priest, whatever his name was, Sigmund Freud, has been having visions of recent infernal passage. He spoke. He heard from the chain.
Do you think he's been influenced?
I believe so.
Or somebody's...
Something is influencing.
Well, we can't be having that.
I don't think he's aware.
Yeah, well, how susceptible would he be to the suggestion that this is a negative influence? He's a man of religion, after all.
It's holy and great, yes, over himself.
I do have magics I could cast that could protect his temple and stop the influence, but they don't last long, and it's no long-term solution. Anyway, let's hear this. Sigmund speak.
And the other one.
Chosen.
Chosen. Does he have a name, Bostic?
Those by been around a while. I think he's called Gromnon. I only started calling himself Gromnon the Chosen a couple of months ago. Less than a year, maybe a year? Was it a year, Dad? Don't know, I've been away a little while, you know? He was doing it just before I left.
Right, sorry, I'm a bit confused. That ale is a bit stronger than I'm used to. What, who's the chosen to the... What does the chosen represent that the chapel doesn't? Does that make sense? It's like, what are their differences?
Well,
Are they
he was
at
talking about,
each other?
you know, casting off your chains and general communist bollocks and getting rid of evil influence and all this stuff.
Well, just between us folk, doesn't that sound like what we're looking for?
Yeah.
Especially if you use the word casting off of chains.
Yep.
No, that's good.
That's why we're going to go see him. find out what he's
Lead
about.
the way. Lead the way, Bright Irons.
Well, we know the way to the Red Market. I don't know where this prick hangs out, but
It was
Yeah,
on,
we'll
said it was
sure
on the
will
edge.
hear them.
he's a charlatan. He's a fancy man. He's a...
Well,
Okay.
don't feel like you have to come with this. I'm sure busting.
Tell you what, lads. Yeah, if it's all the same, I best say hello to the wife. Make sure she's not gone to too much trouble this evening.
Well,
She doesn't
please-
always like having guests.
Please thank her for she again.
You
Oh,
have it
bloody
then,
hell.
right? Okay. Aye. Well. All right. And he takes a rag from his pocket and starts wringing it between his hands. Well, here we are then, lads. Have fun. Don't come back. I don't know. Before the sun rises, eh? Wink, wink.
No, we'll be trying to get up early tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have we haven't organised to meet Highcleve tomorrow, have we?
Yeah, I forgot that was the reason.
No, we've not organised to do anything other than whatever we've
You
got.
didn't.
with
You
Red
haven't
Market.
made an appointment with Highcleve, no.
Yeah, okay. So we'll probably end up doing that tomorrow. Whether he can see us then is up to him, obviously.
Oh, fuck.
Bostic leads you through the lower city towards sounds of laughter, buskers, music. And the lanterns here are tinged with red light. And the Red Market has stalls, it has buildings set into the walls, it has people in the streets with carts. And all manner of things are for sale. A touch more seedy than many of the streets that were busy and bustling during second shift when you arrived. And much louder, much dirtier than the upper mountain that you entered in the morning. But all the same, it is lively. There are dwarves here who are, shall we say, letting their hair down. And there are other races too. You see a human for the first time since you went underground. A group of them. They are also wearing plate armor. But they're drinking and they're cajoling and they're singing. You see gnomes peddling things around. They have carts with wheels on and little devices. One is selling, from the sounds of it, a tiny little musical instrument. You know, no bigger than a thumb, but makes a deeply annoying tune when put to the mouth and blown through. Other places selling drinks, just drinks. Interesting foods, and then clothing, armor, weapons, alchemical concoctions, spell scrolls, all manner of things. Jewellery is bought and sold, pawned, traded. There is a place that does repair upon musical instruments, but after a little while, the stalls of the Red Market blend together, and those of you who have been to town anywhere know how to move through here. I'll invite you all because you are looking for something in particular. Those of you who are looking out for this particular stall or speaker can probably be investigation rolls. Tor, you can roll if you'd like to with advantage.
Ooh. 14.
24.
Was that down?
14.
I did hear that.
Is that 5 or 6?
7.
Nice.
14 was your high roll, Vic.
I think so, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
9 in it.
Yeah. For Obadiah, this is, well, you know what a magic shop looks like. You know what a chapel looks like. You know what a card den looks like. What you're looking for is somewhere in between the three. And you spot it with a bead curtain. No sign, but a queue of shaken, hungry-looking dwarves lining up outside. Or something else catches your eye, the way that the vines on the rocks above are arranged. Doesn't look exactly druidic, but it doesn't look natural either.
Maybe we take a visit. Some sort of poorhouse or alms shelter? I don't know.
People are going in and out, but it is one at a time. Only a few minutes each, less. They're in, and those coming out look not dazed, but, as said, relieved, calmer. But the weight is off their shoulders.
I'm gonna. I think maybe I'll go in by myself if that's okay, folks.
It's a brothel.
Oh,
He needs his relief.
oh,
No.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just assuming you have.
Well, no, poor people can't afford brothels. It can't be that.
Not very good ones.
Dirty, but surely poor people do have sex and pay for it.
Yes, but how do they pay for it?
Who's joining the queue?
I'm gonna go up and ask the people in the queue, what's this queue for? And before I do, though, while we're by ourselves, I'm gonna quietly cast enhance ability on myself for Eagle Splendor.
Sexual ability.
Yeah.
Enhance ability, eh?
Enhance stamina.
Yeah.
Mr. Stood. Yeah,
Eagle Splendor is charisma checks, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll
Yep.
nudge Titus. Well, I was going to say in the ribs, but in the shoulder, and just give a wink and point at Obadiah. Like, that's it.
Yeah, and I honestly didn't even cross my mind that this place might be a brothel. I don't think it is, but whatever.
We wait for relief to ease our burdens. We wait to hear the truth about what's going on in this country.
Oh, is this a church?
We don't need a church. They're full of indoctrination and lies. You know, this is the man who knows what's going on. This is the man with his ear to the ground. You know?
Oh, that sounds far more interesting.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I cut in front of you? I say because my ability was just enhanced and I feel a bit arrogant.
You can give me a persuasion check there. With a winning smile.
So I think I just get. Do I get it? Jesus, okay. Yeah.
It's
I just get
advantage.
advantage, yeah.
Yeah, and enhanceability is not as good as it sounds like it should be. But yeah, advantage on the persuasion roll. Like, it really should enable you to do stuff that you can't normally do, or something like that.
Well, that's a 16. That's good.
That's just,
Yeah.
that's just be a healthy bonus, like a +5 or something.
You
+6.
would think, yeah, because, like, I don't know. Yeah, I might even rework the spell if we carry on using it.
No, it's good. It's good.
Isn't
Yeah.
it like the same level as Pass Without Trace as well?
Right? And Password Trace is
Yeah,
great.
plus
and
10.
very strong.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About Trace.
Yeah, but yeah,
For
I've seen
a group as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen a Matt's video on how advantage works in D&D, like from some Matt's YouTuber, and
Yeah.
it's like it is seriously a bonus. It's
Yeah.
I think it's 50% bonus on average.
Yeah. But there's loads of different ways of getting it, and don't get me wrong, it's it's good to have, but
Cantrip friendship.
Also, I can cast Enhance Ability on any of my stats. That's where it's powerful. It's situational, like all magic. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So 16, did I say?
the guy
Yeah, 16.
catches your smile, your winning smile, says, "Sure, man. First time, huh? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
And sure, I'm from the lowlands. Maybe I can spread some good word.
spread the truth. Yeah. Hey, fellas, let this guy go in. He's new. I think he's a new pledge, right? Like a new prospect, fresh ears." And the guys, they look at you. Give me a second. I'm gonna make a roll.
Now, happy to wait, guys. Happy to wait. I'll just stand here beside my new friend. I'm just not waiting at the back of the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one guy, the guy who's not at the front of the queue but second, eventually looks back to you and says, "Nah, fuck off. I've been waiting here for 20 minutes.
Okay. I'll take my place.
No, it's fellas.
No, what's
The
right
very
is right.
the
Yeah,
message that's come to us. It's exactly it.
I recognise. I'll put my hands up. You know, I'm back away from the position I'm in, further back down the queue, and it's like I recognise when I'm wrong. It's like my apologies. I'm new here. I just thought I'd chance my arm. No harm done.
I'll join the back of the queue like a civilized person.
And the line shifts, and this guy who's spoken up is now front of the queue. He's paying attention to it. The dwarf that leaves is looking pleased. It's a good one tonight, guys. He's really on form.
I'm going to go find a dark, quiet corner a second, and then cast Wild Shape into a rat, a little small rat, and go in. Just go in the corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to take a piss back in a sec, but yeah.
Absolutely. Taurus, you take on your rat form. Is your intent to go in straight away?
Sort of, like, just have a little look around first, see if I can find a little sneaky way in so someone doesn't just see a rat and try to kill it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. There are other rats around.
Ideal. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a little sneaky way in or try to get in there at least unnoticed.
Yeah, absolutely. I will invite you to make me a stealth check, please.
Nat 20.
Sheesh.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. What's the rat's total bonus, just so I know exactly how much
4?
you took?
Sorry.
Was it?
Which die did you use?
I used the pink one.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was a 4. 20 was on the side. Sorry.
Might have been the way I was angling that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a 4.
Sorry.
Do you want to roll it again to be sure? Just put it out on the table.
Yeah, there you go. Have an extra 10.
Don't think it gets any stealth bonuses.
So you, at the very least, are you proficient in stealth?
2. I get 2.
You get not you. Yeah, okay. So add the rats dex mod,
which is nothing.
Which is
0.
Okay, really? Okay, I would have thought the rat would be
11,
higher than
that's weird.
Rat's 11.
I will still treat the rat as I would expect a rat to be proficient in stealth. So what's your normal proficiency bonus at this level? It's
for stealth.
Plus 2. No, I mean for other skills. What is your proficiency? I can't remember what level
it's my standard proficiency bonus.
So yeah,
it's plus 3.
So we'll add a 3 to the roll, so it's 17. Which means the 17 is the difficulty with which we'll have to roll to spot you, is what it'll be. I'm just going to check because I've got somebody's stats here in front of us. And I really should have had that up on the screen, but that's fine. But you're able to find your way and whip between some feet. You are not the only rodent around here. You, Tor, have been able to look out for such things. You know, rats do well wherever there are people. Cats do well wherever there are rats. You know, wherever there are cats, there are dogs. Bow wow wow wow. So you're able to nip in among the walking crowd of the Red Market and around the side of this building into a bit of drainage pipe, and the voices echo through. Things aren't particularly loud now, they are gentle. But you come through and you see the dwarf that had been the head of the queue a minute ago through a grill, walking down a hall and knocking on the door. You realise of where you are looking into is another private room. The rat, however, can squeeze out through this, find his way through. You know where this room is, and eventually the ventilation and the movement of air, which is something which is a priority in dwarven architecture, leads you to a cavity in the side of the wall, and the dwarf which has entered would have his face towards you. With his back to you is this man, this dwarf, whom you have seen speak above the crowd twice now since coming into the low mountain. His beard is long and red, bushy almost. His cloak is hung upon the wall, and so he sits, wrapped in probably half plate, marginally less than what some of the dwarves around you have been wearing, but still armoured all the same. A staff and a shield lean up against the wall. And he has his hands upon the shoulder of the dwarf facing towards you as that dwarf weeps. And through his tears you hear him speak of the pain that he bears. Just the fatigue that he bears and the pressure that he feels to be a good dwarf, to do his best for the clan, for the mine in which he works, and how he feels for his team, how he feels for those who work the chains, those who work beneath him. And Gromnon the Chosen speaks, and he says, yes, the system is unjust. And truly, it steps upon you. I feel your pain. I was once, I grew up in these very streets working, the same as you did. Before I learned the truth, that truly we don't owe these people anything. They exist to take things out on us. And really, Denver, you've got to do what's best for you. Why, if I were you, if I didn't have this holy mission, this mission brought upon me, I would up and leave the mountain tomorrow. There's a whole world out there that you can go and see. And this place, it's not not even what it used to be. I mean, this is functioning as intended. To say that it's broken misunderstands things. It's built to keep the High Cleave and the council leaders happy, the people who sit up in the storehouse. It's built for their comfort. Really, you deserve more than what this mountain can give you. Every one of those men I see queuing up out here night after night, they tell me the same story, and all I want to do is deliver the strength to you to reach out and take what is yours. Now, don't be deceived that there are any easy answers. There are people that will come to you and offer you the world in exchange for just a little taste of your soul. You've got to work. They'll take more than you can possibly give. But if you can just keep grinding away, you can do anything. Anything you set your mind to, Denver. Don't you believe in yourself? And Denver the dwarf, weeping, nods. And straightens his neck and his back and smiles. And he says, "Thank you. Thank you. I know I've been back before, but this time I'm really going to do it. I'm going to pack up my stuff and I'm going to get out of here because this mine and this place, it doesn't deserve me, huh?" "No, it doesn't. You're right." And he wipes his face and he breathes deeply. And he places 5 gold coins on the bowl on the table. And he says, "Look, I know you don't ask for anything, but this is right. You're helping me so much." And Gromnon nods and sees Denver to the door and says, "Tell the next lad to come on in. I'm ready for him." Is your plan there, Tor, to wait?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hide in the vent ear, keep out of the way, and just listen in for the minute until I hear a voice at least that I know.
This cycle repeats a couple of times.
And obviously pay attention for anything that seems different to any of the other interactions. So obviously, if he's got a consistent interaction system.
A lot of it is, self-care comes first. You've got to do what prioritizes you, man.
Same thing, just different people.
It's the same complaints from the same, the same dwarves, and they come and they get stuff off their chest. And he listens, and he notes, and people are really pouring things out. They're bearing their souls. One young dwarf comes and talks about the rage he feels because he cannot get the girl that he likes to like him back. And Gromnon says, "Well, truly, you really deserve her. You're a wonderful guy. I know what you can do. What you've got to go out and do now. I'm going to write down the name of a tailor, and you can go and see him. We've got a good relationship. I work with this guy. And so if you tell him that I sent you, he'll give you a good rate. He'll set you up with a new set of, underbarding, some new paint for your armor. He'll be able to work out a rate with your barber as well. Everything's going to be fine for you. And then when you see Angela, she'll just fall head over heels with you. You can give me... No, I'm not going to call for a roll on this. There's nothing really needed. But the advice is much more about placation. The idea that what a lot of the time, the themes that underrun is that actually he stokes distrust. He tells people not to trust their fathers. He tells people not to trust people who claim to know what's best for them. You know, anybody trying to tell people what to do. What Gromnon here is encouraging is for people to take their fates into their own hands, and, well, maybe that's for the best, maybe it isn't. You can see from what you've seen, for example, of Bright Iron being traditional. Dwarves should dress like dwarves and live like dwarves. You can see why this would come across as radical, as dangerous. And after a little bit, the door creeps open, and you see a familiar set of black leather boots and a black cloak. A much taller gate coming through. Obadiah, you have waited your turn, and eventually the queue has whittled down. Jethro is 1 or 2 people behind you in the queue. Titus, I'm not so sure about. Titus, were you joining the queue, or were you just hanging around?
Yeah, I'll be at the back, I guess.
Yeah?
I
You're-
talk my way through.
You're also in the queue, maybe just behind Jethro?
I haven't told anyone what I've done either.
You haven't told anyone what you've done. No, this is it. And so, Obadiah, you have been shown in, taken a short walk down a corridor that smells of incense. It has a calming scent to it. To a simple, unadorned door, and the room in there is softly furnished, comfortable. And suddenly you are face to face with this healthy-looking, happy, red-bearded dwarf, who blinks a little as you come in, surprised to see someone he does not recognize. Ah, you took up my offer then. I was curious to see if you'd come. I'm glad to see my charm is too great even for yourself to resist. What's your name, friend? And here's where we find out that Gav's internet is down again.
Where's audio?
Sorry, no, I was pressing my wrong push to talk.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Sorry, I was saying, sorry, have we met? And maybe out of character I have to make, have we met?
You've seen him in the streets and he has called to you. He was referring to, the man in black earlier on.
Okay.
So he definitely has seen you around.
Yeah, fair.
There are few enough humans on the streets that it's likely that you've stood out, shall we say, just down to your height, if nothing else.
Cool. Okay, well in that case, Obadiah Black, and I'll find a seat. So I hear you're a source of news? Is that it? From the kingdom? The lowlands? Maybe even a source of resistance, I think.
One sec, let's...
So my plan here is to challenge this dude and saying what he's doing is wrong, or he's going about it the wrong way. Because it's not like inherent dwarf culture is wrong, it's just being subverted.
I mean, he's just kind of, telling people that they don't have to live like that. He's not doing about anything the wrong way. Yeah,
but Bostic's dad isn't inherently a bad dude.
I mean, going about it the wrong way would be blowing up, blowing up the fucking market or something. He's just changing people's opinions.
Lads, I'm here, but I've got to deal with something really quickly, so I'm listening to you, but I'll respond in a second.
I'm just saying, I'm intrigued. We haven't met the leader of Mazenhall yet, have we?
No. We went straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, like it was good to meet Beck, it's probably good to get the lay of the land in Mazenhall before we talk to the leader.
Yeah. See what's going on with the people, how the general feeling is. Yeah, I think it's good talking a lot of sense.
Yeah,
But
definitely. I agree with his motivations. I don't think I agree with his methods.
What's wrong with them?
Like leave Mazenhall. That's not the answer, really. It's not disband your past just because somebody else has influenced your culture. It's more get rid of the influence of the culture. But yeah,
The revolution.
Exactly. I can get the hierarchy and the bright irons and the fucking guilds are in power. But isn't that the way they've always been? Is that not the way it should be? Because I'm obviously lawful neutral, or whatever I am.
Maybe he's
Can't
talking
even remember.
about equality. Good things for all people.
I'd like to think of that as better things for all people. But I agree with you. There needs to be a leader. You're not going to have a council or some sort of elected democracy. That's crazy talk. Nothing to get done.
Maybe.
But corrupt lords, corrupt clerics,
Maybe
that needs to be cut out.
Maybe no leadership is the answer. The people decide what they do. Yes, Jethro is an anarchist.
Yeah, but if the people decide what they're going to do, you're going to end up with like a teeth thief situation. Maybe the teeth thieves would have been stronger with a leader. A strong leader, like who can guide the whole in a direction.
Well, they had one and then they lost him and then, yeah, it all fell apart.
Yeah. So was it the lack of a leader or was it the...
Well, infighting.
way on them, but yeah. But I read a lot of dwarf history in my time and, well, this seems alien to me. Obviously it was mostly fairy tales and children's stories, but... Also, what's this dude's name? I got him written down as Gromlin.
Gromnon.
Gromnon, okay.
Or Gromnon, I think.
Nom.
Gonna go grab another bit.
Last question I have for you on this, Gavin. I'll get back to the narrative, but is Obadiah wearing his Kingsman badge openly here?
Not openly. He did flash it at some point in the last session. I think it was on the way into them. I think it was on the way into the cable car, but I'm not sure. But he's not wearing it openly out and about. But I did have the thought in my head that he might flash it during this exchange.
Sorry, what? Might flash what?
Don't you worry about it. You can watch the video back.
You can do it. You sure this isn't a brothel?
Like, yeah, I might be totally open with this guy, depending on how I kind of gauge him early on in the conversation.
Yeah, that's why we're in it.
Yeah.
So he says, he introduces himself with what's going on this. As Gromnon. Gromnon the Chosen is my epithet, which I'm working on these days. Yes, I was curious to see what might have brought you down here, and down being the optimal word, although lowering your standards and all the other connotations aren't quite it. I know the surface lands are having their fair share of tough times as well.
Oh, that's an understatement. The overlands, is that what you call them? We're having a hell of a time, quite literally. these things that are assaulting us from the north and from within are pervasive, devious, subtle. It seems to be coming from everywhere at once. We came here essentially to see how this place was, to maybe warn Highcleve of what the lowlands were experiencing, and to see what help he could offer. But upon learning of the Chosen, I say mockingly, and indeed the chapel below, and Sigmund and his clerical works, it just seems like it's here as well.
Oh, no doubt. Things are rotten to the core here. That's what I'm here to do, is speak against the corruption, the corrupting influences that this nation is facing. I mean...
Well, let's talk about this corruption. The nature of it. The seed that has grown, and has seemed to have grown from maybe longer than anywhere else I've seen in my travels.
I'm going to make a roll or two to see what I'm going to tell you, if that's all right, Gav. Just
cool.
I'm going to a couple of specific kind of triggers that I'm laying out. Okay, fine. There's that.
I'm going to briefly tell him the story of Movis.
Okay.
And the corruption of a decent... I'm going to leave maybe the location out, but I'll use his name, and I'll say like the corruption of a decent man down south, a decent elf. He had been alive for centuries. He had been a pillar of the community. He had been a businessman, helping and operating in his lord's domain, which provided the empire or the kingdom with ships and timber for the defenses, and that as soon as the war in the north started, his situation changed. And I'll tell him what we found in Movis's basement.
You're going to be explicit about that and go into full details?
I'll say it was he was influenced, and I'm going to stop at. I'm going to cut off the concept of otherworldly until I get his response to what he thinks is the corruption in this place, because he hasn't explicitly said. Yeah. So, well, actually, quite redacted, but if you know what I mean.
Gromnon leans forward, an eyebrow comes up. You've definitely got his interest here.
Now I seek his attention.
And so he kind of chews his lip for a second. I think you and I might be speaking the same language here, although it's hard to find always the right words on that. You see, I happen to have a certain benefactor, a certain force behind me with an interest in suppressing certain influences, as you call them. You know, there's...
This benefactor, is he local?
No. And wants really nothing to do with the internal politics. I mean, you know, the war and, you know, the struggles of lords and things. You've an accent like you might have spent some time in a few big houses. And he doesn't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, but isn't that the way those people work? You know, don't bore me with the details, just get the thing done. It could be from either side.
Hence my position here. I've got to look out for what's being done, and I think you and I may have spotted the same pattern from different angles. You see, I grew up with Sigmund here below us, speaking at the rock face.
How long has he been doing that for? Do you mind me asking?
More than your lifetime. Looks at his fingers as though he's counting them. And 150 years, maybe more. Lately, there's a fervor. And
When you say lately, do you mean from midsummer? Oh, and I explained the concept of midsummer to a man who lives underground.
I'm familiar with the calendar of the New Faith. And, indeed, lately, and I shift up again around about the time of the midsummer celebrations. The fact is that for the past couple of years, this nation has been heading towards something. And, well, I like to have my finger on the pulse. I like to see what's going on. I like to make a little gold here and there. I can spot an opportunity, and I can spot where a knot is about to be tightened. Might make us all a lot harder to wiggle. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think so.
And tell me, Mr. Black, are you a man who knows how to work an opportunity? Are you a man who knows how to bend a rule or two?
Not really. I have a code.
No, I don't suppose you are.
The code is a bit maybe looser than what people around here are used to, but I enact the king's justice wherever I see it.
Oh, the king's justice. Oh, well, in that case, won't want to get on your offside, but you should know that even the king is not immune to these things.
No, he's not, but our current king didn't write the laws. They've been in place for generations, and those are the laws I follow.
Right you are, Mr. Black. Well, I'm aware that the new faith of Lurich, as they're prone to calling it, has as you say, a strict orthodoxy, a way that things are done, a law that was passed down and down again, and it's time that was changed. But, well, I think we've got to be careful about how it changes. That's all. The voices that whisper in my ear, the rumors that I hear, the direction that I'm given, it empowers me to improve the lives of people down here. That's genuine, by the way. That's quite sincere.
I don't doubt it. And I agree that the lives of people here, and indeed in the lowlands, have to change. But there's other influences. I've seen it to the east. I've seen it in the south. And I'm not as familiar with the chaos up north, but there's things impacting the new faith. I am myself a believer in the new faith, but I also realize, and I have found out in the last few weeks, that the new faith is a shellac, a coating that is hiding something.
Oh,
and I know
he rubs his hands in front of you.
I know the kingdom knows about this, and they're keeping it from the people. And I think you've keyed into this and are aware of it.
Mr. Black, we are singing from the same hymn book. Do you know, what are your plans here in Mazenol? How long are you around for? I'd love to show you around.
Well, the king will need us back in a few days, but I plan to meet Bright Iron, if at all possible, Highcleve, sorry, if at all possible, in the next few days.
Diamond Highcleve? Yeah, okay, yeah, well.
I mean, we have broader problems at the same time. The Midlands, we call them, the Eastlands, in your case, have been overrun and will need military support. That which we're lacking in the kingdom, and we need to make the Dwarven Kingdom Empire, the aware of its place in the world
Yeah,
again.
of course. Yeah. Well,
People can't hide in a mountain, in a city, or in a forest for their entire lives. We have to come together at some point. Otherwise, from above, we will find our not find our something. We will reveal our failings.
well spoken. You drive a hard bargain there, Mr. Black. Now you see what you're missing, I think. This coating lays on top of everything. There's one little piece of the puzzle you're missing. Now I think from what you've said to me, you've met the tails side of the coin, and he plucks one of those gold coins that have been placed in the bowl beside him. You've met the tail, but there's always a head. There's always another side of the coin. I think we've got a really good opportunity here, Mr. Black. I really do think if those of us true believers, those of us who work hard and stand for light and good, I think that's where we can go. I think we can change things for the better. Do we have an accord, sir? Do we have an opportunity maybe to work together going forward here? You can give me an insight check, I think.
Cool, thank you. Insight is wisdom +3. 19.
That was good. This was a tough DC. What he's getting at here is he's trying to spin something as though he represents the forces of good against the forces of evil. That's entirely what he's presenting out. He doesn't quite believe it himself.
Yeah, I got that because I was gonna contradict him and say no, it's not forces of good versus evil, it's law versus chaos, and I wasn't prepared to say that because I was gonna let him keep the assumption of his good versus evil bullshit.
But yeah, he's, this is the line he's been spinning, that he's, he represents good, but actually, Tor, you've been listening in on this, and what the guy's saying is, it would be hard to justify purely as good. Regardless, I'll see you around. Maybe we'll sit and have a drink sometime. My treat. I'm happy to, be seen conversing with the visiting travellers, the urbane sophisticates, etc. Good for my brand,
Understandable. With the King's Guard. And I'll flash my symbol. We.
His eyes open, so yeah, all's the better.
May pay for that drink. Well, you keep preaching, and I'm sure we'll meet again.
You meet with Highcleve.
We're going to request an audience.
Tell him to listen to his heart, not to that prick Beck down in town. Man acts like he's got a lead around his neck, like a tame pony.
Well, that's probably because he does. But I was going to do that anyway, so obviously we are singing off the same hymn sheet. We'll have a nice second shift.
You're learning it now, although it's a third now by this time of day, after the bells go.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, I tried to be smart. Later. And I'll leave.
Gromnon takes a deep sip of the wine that's on the table next to him. Send the next one in,
Yeah, I've seen how your scam works, I'll say as I'm walking down the corridor. And I'll send the next one in. Go out and...
The next one is the emotionally hungry-looking dwarf who let you cut ahead of him and says, "See, do you see what I mean? The guy's a visionary, you know. The guy hears the voices of the light."
He does. And he
You-
spoke great sense to me. Great wisdom. But you know, I saw the guy before me give him 5 gold. So I think he's probably set for the night.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, we make a little
You know.
donation. The guy doesn't have any other
Yeah,
way.
but keep it silvers. He's eating for the next week anyway. And I gave him a big tip too.
You're a really good guy. You know that. I'm glad to have you around.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime.
Jethro and Titus, you will see Obadiah come on out.
I'm going to step out of the way.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, what I was going to do was basically sit down in view of Jethro and Titus and just telepathically explain what I just learned. So they would eventually step out of the line.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool.
You'll
Well,
notice
that's all we'll
Tor's
get
not
to.
around. Yeah. Vicky, are you staying where you are?
Oh, he's
Yeah, I'm
probably
going
more
to stay there
spider
for a
legs.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Okay.
a minute.
And I've just rolled a perception check for him, which you'll see the die here. And so after a little bit,
Oh, not 20.
yeah, plus a couple, you know, it's. I figured I'd make it fair. After a little bit, what am I trying to say? After a little bit, the chair that you've been hiding behind shifts. And it says, "You don't smell like the ordinary rats down here, you know? Should I open this grate up? You can come on out."
And I'm going to go back the way I came. If I can get out that way.
Fucking
Yeah,
Scarpa!
you know the way out. Yeah,
It's been
Yeah,
rumbled.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And as you shift and move, you hear the door open, and Gromnon's voice return to speaking to the next dwarf that comes in.
I will head out, and once I'm out of view of anyone, I will de-wild shape back into me turtle. Turtle.
Fall asleep in an alley again.
Not quite. He's not a bit of a weird man, that man.
Sounds like he's speaking sense.
Bit of a charlatan, but, you know, yes, a tool to be used.
Like the people are to him, I guess.
Seems so.
Like he is to his mysterious superior.
Yeah, that part's a bit worrying.
Yeah. Sounds like maybe he's also being controlled by fucking monsters and shit. I don't know.
Maybe we have, I don't know, maybe our enemies have enemies.
Claims to be a priest. Divine power?
I don't think he claimed to be a priest, did he? At any point?
Well,
No, I think one of the other dwarves may have claimed that. But he's clearly not. He's in it for the cash. Well, he's benefiting from the cash, but he is doing good.
They've referred to him as a kind of envoy of you know, the truth, of a kind of prophet figure almost. That's how the guys in the queue will have talked about him if you spent time speaking.
But as you said, Jethro, I am worried about his benefactor. I don't think that will be easy to get out of him. Even though he seemed quick to ally to our cause.
I guess he realizes we can help. He wants to use us.
It could be. But two rival factions of the other worldly in this place may still be rivals. We don't know.
We don't know the objectives of Sigmund's.
We don't know the objective of the
Games.
infernal, I guess, is what we call them. The creatures from the hell planes. The other places.
Those that came from the portal. Those.
Exactly.
Interesting, though.
Do you guys, while you're in the market, you have opportunities to look around, you have opportunities to shop if you'd like, anything else you'd like to do?
I'll buy Titus a beer because he missed out on the meal.
Oh, thank you, Jeff, very kind.
He had this amazing wine. It was like spicy and fucking dark. It was great. Sorry you couldn't be there. He said it was quite rare.
I think we'll probably need ourselves a few healing potions. I'm going to look around for alchemical supplies that may interest us.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm
you can
going
find a place that will
to-
sell potions, healing potions. You can have healing potions for, let's say, 50 gold apiece.
Regular ones, yeah.
Regular ones, as they get stronger, you get slightly better value for a greater and things like that. So,
Well, I think what we'll probably want to do is, at this stage of our careers, we will probably want to at least people to have a little small one each, and then maybe our tougher guys have bigger ones, if we can make that happen.
I'm pretty sure we could probably afford a few.
Oh, we can. I'm looking at my list of cash here. We're still up a couple of grand. I haven't added it up.
Is your enhanced ability still active?
It is, yeah.
Then why don't you try to barter with them?
Yeah, you seem extra charming currently.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm gonna have a look and see if we can pick up, say, some. I don't know what the tier language is, whether it's grey or superior or whatever, but I think we're gonna need like a very strong one, if at all possible, and then some smaller ones.
So, a regular healing potion, which is 2d4 plus 2, will do you 50 gold. And then we'll go up in 25 per tier, so 4d4 plus 4 for a greater one will do you 75.
Okay, in that case, I'm thinking probably. Well, we have the money for it, so like,
And
if we can pick up 2 or 3 75s,
Yeah,
maybe
and
even
then,
a 200, and then a couple of 20 or 50s.
so again, so you'll do 100 gold a pop for a superior one, which is 8d4 plus 8. I
That's
will
good.
say that there are what are called supreme healing, which are 10d4. We don't have any of those in stock, I'm afraid.
All right,
They're a
well,
little-
let's get ourselves 2 superior and a bunch of little ones. Say if the little ones are 50 a go, so let's spend. I think it's worth risk spending 200 on little ones, and then 2 superiors.
Sounds
400 total.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And what I've been doing, Jed, just for clarity, is on my OneNote, I've listed all of our loot, and I've listed the value of them in front, and I've just been degrading that value.
Sounds good.
I need a few minutes. The cat's just scratched me. That's probably bleeding. Go back.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pricks.
They're great.
So from some of the jewels we got from Bostic's Maker, Bostic's Master, they were 550 GPs worth of jewels. I'm changing that to 150, and we bought our healing potions. So What I'll do is we can distribute them afterwards, but I'm going to add 4 regulars to my sheet. And maybe Jethro, if you want to add the 2 superiors to yours.
It was
Cool.
superior, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Potion. Healing superior. Nice. I will definitely use those. Oh, sorry.
Right. Okay. I think, fellas, I know Sam's just stepped away to apply first aid, but I might be calling it there.
He's short resting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Jed,
Yeah.
can you give us a bit of a timeline on when you're planning to wrap this session up,
the
so I can
rate
plan
that-
the next one?
With the rate that things are going, I would say 1 or 2 more sessions, to be honest. It depends a little bit on whether Sam decides that he wants to do this jailbreak. Or as to, if Sam is going to pick up what's been put down in this session. And then it depends a little bit on, for example, what you guys want to say to Highcleve when you get to meet him. But yeah, honestly, within the next few weeks.
Cool. So
And then, yeah.
I'll wait till Sam gets back, but I want to put like 2 propositions in front of people.
Yep. Yeah,
Actually,
absolutely.
it doesn't matter if Sam gets back or not. It's
Right,
one
right.
is because it's one quick sentence. It's one is we keep going, or the other is we start something new. The reason for starting something new that I want to put in front of people is that I'm really liking Jed's game of where we're in a whole new world that's custom made, and I don't know, but I feel we're moving towards the position of advisors to the king. Now that's Obadiah's objective, it's not everyone's, but I think if we were to do something new, I'd ask people, what do you guys want to be in 15 levels time? And then I can map out that. So it's not a case of kind of randomly powering up, it's more a case of working towards a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I follow you with that kind of longer character goal and things being
Yeah.
fed into where. Yeah.
Because when we last left our Intrepid Heroes, I was pivoting the Calamsham stuff, and people were we spent, we traveled 1,000 or 1,500 miles north across the entire continent in order to get to the Northlands. My next season, as such, is spending a certain portion of it in dwarven strongholds to the north of where we left off, and then on to the campaign. And the campaign was a written adventure written for, I think, 1st or 2nd ed D&D.
Yeah.
That people won't know about, I'm sure. But it does tie into the overall arc. And it also means I don't have to do as much. But I'm happy to do more if we want to start again. Sorry, Sam. So I was saying, do we want to keep going with my game, or do we want to start again and do something new?
I've been thinking about to myself, like, even if I was to go back to that character, I would want to change him a bit.
Well, that's
yeah.
kind of sign that's not everything's not right.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
think so a little bit, yeah.
And maybe my forcing of the new personality on the old character is a bit weird, and I figured I don't think I did that correctly. I think I could do it better.
I think it was a great idea as a conceit, and I was really excited to pull it together.
But I can see how it fell apart. Like I've
Yeah.
read that idea in a book, and it worked in the book, but obviously because it's a monotone story arc, as in there's no variety. It's not a complex thing when it's just documented.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying if we do something new that we'll never go back to this or those characters, but I can especially see how Vic might feel left out, because it's like Jurgen is like in the dark about all the past, the history, what you need to do and save the future. It's weird for that reason as well.
Sure, yeah, he's missing out on half the information.
Now I know Vic would be okay to roll with that and just play it, but
yeah,
it's just that option to get involved. I don't want to. It's kind of like saying, "Oh, you're a second-tier character."
Yeah,
and that's not fair.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Because that's one thing to give to. I mean, I realise, Vic, when you wrote up Jurgen, like you were new to the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not.
Jurgen is a solidified character. I get him because I've read the same books as Vic has, and I know who Jurgen is, and I know like Baldric. We all know Baldric, but it's still he's not loaded with the same information as all you guys are. So.
Yeah, and therefore just isn't as engaged in the plot as the other three.
Yeah, so we could do something new, and just to put it out there, if we were going to do something new, I'd run it just like we did this one. I would imagine we start as competent, and we play kind of level 5 to 15.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
Yeah. I know that's what you wanted to do with this, and I've taken my time a little bit getting you guys up to high levels, but that's part of why I wanted
this
to
level is great. This is like, I have a huge selection of spells, loads of options. It's good to play at this level because I've never done it before. So it's just to get you guys, because we've all done the level 1 to 3, a lot. So
this kind of mid-tier, and I think 5 through 15 is a really nice way of doing that as well. This kind of high tier 2 is great because it means that I can still challenge you guys. You haven't got like world-changing abilities,
but we still have ways, especially in the next few levels. We have still ways to circumvent your plot.
You're definitely getting quite heroic.
Like I think next level or the level after, myself and Vic can teleport our group around the planet.
Yeah.
So that's going to hugely change things.
Actually, fuck it. You know what? I was thinking about this today and realizing, let's level you guys up anyway. Just because you've done a fair bit over the last few sessions. You've not had any kind of big fights, but I don't care. You've definitely, I think what you've dealt with today counts as achievements and progression. So what does that come up to 9 for you guys?
Cool. That means I can I can run up walls.
Brilliant, excellent,
and run on water.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna save my level up for next week. I won't do any mechanics, but
absolutely, yeah.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Entirely indifferent. All I know is I'm going to play a cleric in my next character. Anyway.
I kind of want to play a rogue.
Weirdo.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah. I'm game for something new. I've got characters, coming out of my pockets at the minute.
What do I roll for my health again? I always forget this.
Your
it's
D8?
It dies 9d8. It says there, but
no, just roll one.
Just one d8. Add your Constitution.
D&D Beyond will add the Constitution automatically. So roll the d8 and add it to rolled HP on D&D Beyond. Yeah.
So the other thing was,
hey, the one club. Hey.
Roll it again. Fuck it. You're not getting a 1.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't really matter for me because I've got
he's got loads of HP. He can get a 1.
A 5.
A 2. He's sticking with the 2.
Okay, that's fine. I got
I'm
5.
up to like 80.
I have 59. Fuck's sake.
I'm up to 80 HP. So yeah.
So the other concept was, and this is something that's been in the back of my head since I watched a stream or two online, is the concept of a themed group. And I know we've talked about it before, whether everyone's a cleric or everyone's a rogue, or everyone's in a rogue's guild, a thieves guild, but it's not a rogue.
Yeah.
And is there any interest in that? Could we make something like that, like being part of a pirate crew?
Oh yeah, that was my first thought. Oh yeah, but it's not.
But like we've done pirate crew before, but what about mercenary guild? What about if all you guys were grunts for a magician's council that were sent out to seek magical items and weird fucking components,
like bounty hunters?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm open to ideas. I haven't settled on anything. I'm not going to dictate to you guys. I'd rather hear back.
In the employ of an arcane archaeologist or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I work for the Croft Industries.
Yeah.
just got level 5 spell.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I think teleport's in there.
There's a bunch of really good spells at level 5. They get really strong.
Summon Draconic Spirit.
Can move along vertical
So, yeah.
surfaces. And
Summon a fucking dragon spirit.
So have a think about it. But one of the things we'll definitely do in session 0, which we might even delve into multiple session 0s as in backstories. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not just your history and where you. I'd like to see more of where you want to be. So, like for instance, Obadiah, he wants to be in the king's court, and he wants to be manipulating the machinations of the kingdom. He doesn't necessarily want to be on the throne, but he definitely, maybe at level 20, wants to be the power behind the throne. And he wants to be a necromancer with his own castle, who in the basement all horrible shit happens, but outside...
You want to be a BBEG?
Yeah, no, but he wants to be a force for law, but not good, but law. And it doesn't matter if the laws... He at the moment, his concept of the laws are, I want my laws to be good for the people. But I don't know if you've ever seen like 1980 where Dr. Doom inherits a country called...
is it Barovia?
Barovia. And there's no crime. Everyone's employed. But it's not a great place. Because it's Dr. Doom and he's using magic and cybernetics to control it. It's something like that, though. It's
Barovia
it's some bullshit Eastern European make-you-up country. But it's that sort of thing. So he will still have like undead servants and things like that. But so like if to come to me with like the start point of your character and not the end point, but maybe the midway through point, we can work something out. So I'm not just handing out, say, random magical items. I'm giving you, like Jed gave me, this book of dead weird knowledge that I really haven't. Yeah, I haven't really used yet, but is definitely going to be coming into play in the future of Obadiah. So we can start, I suppose, talking about it Thursdays when we finish this one, or in between. It's cool as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will get brewing on an idea. But I think, settling on a concept that binds us as a group first to then inform the character, I think will be what I'll have to do.
And again, I think where we might have fallen down in the past is we didn't spend enough time discussing all this shit, and I didn't insist that we did. So things they didn't fall apart. I think all the characters were good, with the exception of Bloody Hounds and fucking whatchamacallits, that stupid dwarf from Warhammer who turned up in D&D. Yeah. So like, if we can do a couple of session 0s, maybe it'll galvanize it all a little bit better, so we don't run into this weird morass kind of halfway through.
You recall running, we only ran the one session, but running a game of Call of Cthulhu for myself and Sam some time ago now, Gav.
A long time.
God, was that 10 years ago?
The Bloody Tongue. The in Africa, in Egypt. Yeah.
And we sat and had a discussion about that, and obviously we had different things. Discussed how the characters knew.
No, it wasn't just the two of us. There was more.
I remember that because I think I.
You might have listened in. I don't know if you played that.
No, I didn't. But there was something about it.
Sam and I and our friend Stooks.
Yeah, it was Roll20, and it was
because I think I'm in the campaign. I remember. I keep seeing it.
I remember my D&D folder. In my role-playing folder.
Was it the Dark and the Light?
The Dark and the Light. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm in that campaign on D&D Beyond, and
I think you were just watching
8 years ago.
It was your first. Exactly. And then that's the other question we can ask ourselves, because I heard really good things about Roll20 recently. There's the other new Tailspire app on Steam.
We've been using we use Roll20 for my fucking Tuesday games, and Once you know how to use it, it's really good. But I have to say, someone else uses Foundry, or we've used Foundry, and
I've used Foundry in the
we've
past,
used
yeah.
Foundry. We used it on your first
Oh,
campaign.
yeah. Oh, hang on, I gotta take a
we
look.
switched from
I'm back in a
tabletop to
sec.
Foundry, and it was great.
Yeah.
Did I stop recording? Nope. It's a good time.